save against ongoing? Yeah.
Oh yeah, ongoing. Sorry. It does save, but it takes the 6.
Let's try to hit it with an axe. You know, that is something we do nowadays.
That is a hit.
Okay, I will then add a Surge your Strength for additional 11 damage, making that 35 damage.
And I will try to interrupt with that. There is no escalation, right?
There should be. It should be at 1. Sorry.
Okay. In that case, is a 14 enough for MD?
Yes.
Yes. In that case, 12 extra damage.
Okay.
For a total of 47.
Yep. It looks, well, staggered to say the least at this point. Let me add 2 initiative. You are at 1. Okay. That's your turn.
Wait, I forgot to do that. Oh well.
That misses.
All right. Let's see. Well, the one above didn't really take any damage, so, and the one in front of us does seem quite hurt, right?
He seems quite hurt.
Okay,
Still thrashing about and healthy, but quite hurt.
Well, I guess I will just try it anyway. I will try to reach into his or her mind, I guess, and cause it some fear. Try to shoot it away. Wow, that roll.
That does not succeed.
No,
it hates
I
you
guess
for
not.
having tried to scare it, and it wants to hurt you most of all. Okay.
Yeah. It does, but it doesn't really do it, by hurting itself over it or anything. And then I will just focus, I guess. Oh boy.
Okay.
You tried to scare it, and you did it really offensively, and it's scandalized. It's like,
Damn it.
what?
Demise will go
Demaz!
for this.
Fuck him up, Demaz. Yeah.
That hits. 12 points of damage. Yep. Is the sneak attack already in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just used the 7 from the miss.
Okay, so it's another 7. Okay. It's still in there, and it's not in definite range.
Well, let's see if we can change that, shall we? By chanting at it. Boo!
Yes. It slumps to the ground.
Okay.
Nice.
Anakin turns towards the Addernack up top, brandishing his staff.
Oh, the Adank even is still stuck at this Adderling. That's only bone, so that's not nice, but it's in the way.
Go, Edeling. Keep it.
It'll bite at it.
Hold it.
14.
Okay, yeah.
Escalation die goes to 2. Graham.
Just doing that. Well, this one's dead. The other one is, however, 2 away. Well, when does that sailor act?
The sailors are not in the initiative.
Well, he should have come over
Escalation.
here, damn it. What's he doing over there still? An idiot. Yeah. And Graham can simply go here. Yeah, and protect them by, by being in the way, should it try to come over here. Edlingo will try to attack. And miss.
And miss. Gilgalad.
Let's see. I will try to go against it directly, I guess, with my Karmic Rebuke. Escalation 2 for a 16 BSMD.
That hits.
So it takes 8 psychic damage. It cannot attack me in the next round. And I will use my focus again.
Okay, Dimas.
Let's see. I will come to here and then use a flying blade.
That's a miss. Like clinking off its scales. Its beaver scales.
Beaver scales.
Enrican.
Well, so we need to sap it. And we're gonna chant at it. Give me power escalation, sailor. We need to defeat the Crocobeaver. 18 versus PD.
That just hits.
Alright, 27 damage as the dark words of Anrikin's spell rips into it. He sings about the end of things, and particularly the end of this Crocobeaver.
And grabbing this opportunity, Gil-galad is also gonna
God damn it,
do
Gil-galad.
terribly.
You're so seasick. That's the only explanation.
Yes. I suppose I underestimated the
It's
six.
still 1 damage, you know,
1 damage.
for free.
It adds up.
Yeah, you know, you get you like get
Retain
your
your
pinch in there.
focus.
You're like a needle.
Mm.
Okay. Let's see. The Adank will try to disengage again and succeed. And it saw what that robed elf was trying to do to its buddy. To its buddy's
But
mind.
it cannot attack itself.
But it can't. Because there's someone going to be in the way, right?
Well, I mean, it can't attack him anyway.
That's
Yeah,
true.
because
But yeah, generally I'd be in the way.
Okay. Well, it's going to use its tail to slap Graham. And roll a 1.
Yes.
Missing completely.
This is going great.
Relation die goes to 3. Graham.
Just gonna go here, attack it. Yeah, look at that.
nice.
Fiddling doing stuff, and then Grandma's gonna try to hit it with his. As well, we have a 3. That is then. No, that's not a hit. So my turn. A total of 12 damage.
Okay. Gil-galad.
Well, Gil-galad was unable to penetrate his mind, but thankfully that allowed him to retain his focus, which he will use directly now to perhaps get a better grasp at his Barney mind. I believe that's a hit, right?
That hits, yes.
For 10 extra psychic damage, which again makes it have a little bit of fear perhaps for Gil-galad, and seems unable to target him. And then I will focus again. That is all.
Okay. Demis.
Miz will come and try to finish it off.
That is a hit, but it's not quite enough to finish it off.
But it does hit, so let's see if I can. Again, interrupt. I'm sorry, I have to do that. So let's see.
Yep,
The 22.
that also hits, but not quite enough to finish it off.
Okay.
But it is in definite range.
Well, in that case, we have had quite enough as he slams the staff down, snuffing out the life of the creature. Is anyone hurt?
Actually, no.
In that case, the life force of the creature pours into the Edeling, suffusing it, reknitting it.
I think the Elderling got hit once and that's it.
Yeah. Well, it killed 2 people.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
We eat apadak for tonight.
Probably tomorrow.
Light a
Meat's
fire
back
under
on the
mast.
menu, boys.
Combat is over.
Okay.
The sailors
Right.
scramble about, most of them going down to fix an apparent leak that has sprung up. People downstairs obviously a bit upset about that. That's more than upset.
Gilgalad is mostly concerned at this point about the dead sailors.
The dead sailors look thoroughly dead for one.
Well, are these creatures normal in this area? Henrikin will ask one of the sailors, I guess.
The sailors aren't sure, but they would assume that they came out from the Fenwood. They look like something that would have lived there.
Okay.
They don't usually make their way into the ocean so far. They are more like river things, but they don't know.
Maybe the best dam building wood comes from ships.
Maybe.
Perhaps
They're crocodams.
They live in the crocodams.
do they by any chance have any specific rituals they want to be done about the dead ones?
The sailors, if they are at sea, usually do a burial at sea, basically building a tiny boat for the deceased that they then set on the ocean and set on fire.
Yeah, Gilgalad is gonna propose that he can, accompany that with a few prayers and the proper, goodbyes.
They do accept and appreciate that gesture. The night continues. Now very few people actually sleeping still, since water rushing into a boat and giant creatures on deck are not conducive to sleeping habits. But eventually the situation does calm down. The 4 remaining sailors do have a bit of trouble keeping the ship running, but the damage to it wasn't that severe. And while the wind is, as expected, not in their favor, the boat does slowly approach what is definitely a mountain range, and probably even the correct one. I would like you to copy your tokens again.
Okay.
Done.
Yep.
Done.
Okay, I will make a new map visible. Should be visible now.
Yep.
Just making sure all these guys don't have vision blocking. Which isn't really necessary, but just in case I fuck up. Enforce you. As that is approximately what you can see from the boat. Some distance through a lightly wooded, lightly treed forest. An absolutely enormous mountain range. And on top, probably your target. The coast that is visible looks pretty much untouched, not many structures at all. Except, of course, the remains of what must have once been the pier. There's still some wooden poles sticking out of the ocean. Thick ones that have probably at one point made for a good and easy to dock at pier, but that doesn't exist anymore, as it seems to have been completely ripped apart. The sailors will bring the boat in pretty much as close as they are willing and comfortable, which still leaves some distance to swim. Of course, the passengers you've brought were very much made aware of that, since the boat has no side boats and there's no pier, so they're not too disgruntled, although perhaps they had hoped that a solution could be found, since some of them do seem to be rather hesitant. But in essence, you're here at the shoreline.
Just beach the boat.
Here, as
Just
expected, is destroyed. The
seal
boat,
the boat
is
onto
too
the.
big to be. The boat is too big to be unbeached again, is the problem for the sailors.
Yeah, it's fine. You need people to repair the pier anyway.
Maybe we can use the beach ship to build the pier.
Hmm.
You know? Think
It'll
positive.
be super charming.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that place with the ship pier, you know?
Yeah. It's like a landmark. And you take something that has died and make something new of it. It's like necromancy, but for piers.
Summon Pier.
The sailors don't quite agree with you wanting to use their boat.
My level 5 spell summon pier. Rise! Okay. Sure.
If we had more people, maybe. But yeah.
Okay, well,
I'm still loading, by the way.
yes, me too. It's
Oh.
sheep's
That one big
Shouldn't
one.
be happening.
CD5AB7A28BA7C6, you know, kind of.
Yep. At 7.5 meg one.
I'm almost done with it.
I'm 46%.
Well,
I'm
I'll take
95.
a quick break then. I'll be right back.
It's that huge dragon picture.
Yeah, it's really, really big.
Enormous, just takes up
And it's just,
half
I
a
am
map.
so awesome.
like
Look at me.
like the battlefield is just like his nose.
Yeah.
We're on. A single scale per square.
It's practically a fractal.
I am the fractal dragon.
You know, you look closer, I'm just more dragons.
I'm a dragon made of dragons. I am an
At every
infinite.
level. No matter how far in you zoom or how far out you zoom.
It's only dragons.
We cannot escape.
100%. Okay. Start seeing it on caching all the things.
By the way, during our expedition in the ship, I guess, at some point, Gilgalad is probably gonna try to, approach a subject again, but noticing how fancy is, kind of in the middle of something, I suppose. He's gonna look maybe not disappointed, but somewhat, I guess, nervous, and he's probably gonna drop it again.
What? Hurricane will like look back and be like, what do you mean?
Well, we have been traveling together for some time, and we seem to approaching a more, I guess, official business-like association with each other.
Uh-huh.
There is something I should probably make known to all of you.
Uh-huh.
Especially since we have encountered apparently parts of it. Well, suppose if you have the time, And he will, motion everybody to sit around, I guess.
All right.
Um, he will look at Anrakin and say, "You remember the place Granath was, well, doing whatever he was doing at the ritual.
Yes.
And you remember that crack, of course.
Yes.
You may also recall how I mentioned that this crack is probably connected to some stories about Aduyal and the way she has created a veil, if you wish, to keep another world hidden.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing is, he probably seems rather nervous about it, and at some point he will just say, "Well, I guess it can only be said in a very straightforward way. I have been created from Aduial herself. I have not been born like most of you."
Anakin blinks, looks at him. You, you're saying you're some sort of avatar?
Not so much of an avatar, more perhaps an illusion she would probably use sometimes to provide guidance and protection for lost and innocent people.
Hmm.
I don't know why she gave me physical properties and a life, proper consciousness, but she did. And with that, she gave me something more. I have, since I can remember, been able to look through the veil to see the demons hiding behind it. Demons like the one Granath was trying to accept, and the one he's probably trying to fight against.
Hmm.
I have considered this a lot, and I believe it's only fair for you to know my relationship to such events.
Anakin looks at him and then he says, "Well, personally, I don't think this changes much. If you're some sort of godsend, then I suppose it just makes us more lucky to have you along."
He will smile and say, "Well, I'm glad you see it that way. I was somewhat worried you might think me as part of the reasons this is happening."
He looks at Gergard and says, "Well, are you a reason this is happening?"
I do not think so.
Anakin nods. "Then you might be in a similar situation as myself, not being the reason this is happening, but rather a product of what's happening."
He will nod and say, "Well, I did not mean to keep this a secret, but you understand I don't usually advertise this either."
Anakin smiles. "I highly doubt anyone would actually believe you if you tried." Your claim is so outrageous that I would actually suspect most people just thinking you either a boaster or a bit crazy. He smiles.
Well, yes, it was, I have to admit, somewhat awkward when I first arrived in Respite. Thankfully, a few people actually understood, and they were more than hospitable. Others, though, they may still think me as crazy.
So, Are you, like, in direct connection to your goddess? Like, do you hear her voice or anything?
No, no, it's nothing like that. I am more or less a normal high elf. It's just my origin is different, and I suspect the reason for that is this place. There is a different lady in charge here. She probably left me here as, I suppose, an individual aspect of her influence, something not directly related.
So, how long have you actually been alive? Here, physical.
I believe it was a little bit more than 100 years.
So, do you know your purpose, or are you guessing?
I can only imagine, of course, but I strongly believe my purpose is simply to make sure the wishes of my lady are seen through.
I see.
So you would understand how this approaching evil is somewhat of a personal enemy, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
I cannot simply run and hide from it. And if you choose to stay by my side, I can only hope that you will stay strong.
I do plan sometime in the future to find what I am seeking, to claim that which I need, and then I will return to my home and I will cleanse it. That whatever taints it seems to be in connection to this veil and cracks. It seemed similar in the ritual room with Granith, although I didn't really have much time to study it. But if it is connected, we certainly would have a common enemy. Much greater than the petty ruffians and mercenaries and madmen we've fought so far.
Gilgalad again nods and says, as petty as they may be, they still pose threat to common people.
Yes.
And as little information we have about our great goal, it is good to use our time in such perhaps small but still important issues.
Yes, time. He looks out. Sighs. He looks over to Graham. As he thinks of all of this.
He's been listening. He just sort of slowly nods to himself. Not being particularly vocal about what he's thinking.
Demaz?
Yeah, no, Demez seems kind of lost in thought. He's not really. It's a little bit of something to think about.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Gilgalad basically outed himself here.
Yeah.
Well, he certainly understands that, these sort of news are not really that easy to digest. So he's gonna give you all time to, think it through and decide how you want to, if you want to react.
I mean, as Anarkin sees it, it would be that, well, Gilgalad seems like a person to him, and that's just the mainly thing that matters. If he has some sort of higher purpose, or was conceived by a god, or is like a fragment of that god's being, I mean, it is certainly unusual, but it wouldn't really be shocked about it. This world seems pretty fantastical, and with beings like the Doom and the Enemy and like all of these incredible things happening. To him, it seems quite reasonable that the gods would actually try to intervene in some way.
Graham has long considered that he might be an intervention, so to speak, from a dying god or a last will or some such, from a power long gone, but if others have done similar things, perhaps that is an avenue to pursue. If something is coming that warrants that sort of intervention from the divine, sort of very direct, well, then maybe that's something to deal with.
Gilgalad will also say then that I know at least the two of you, but then he turns at Dimes and says, but you as well seem to have your own stories, your own personal matters. And I believe when you feel comfortable enough, you will perhaps share them as well. And turning again at Graham and Dimes, of course, there are certain aspects of everyone's life that we are simply unaware of, and perhaps we are simply looking for information.
Graham shakes his head and says, I've known you for longer than I've known, well, any of the rest of you. So Dimes and then we can. So, I had never imagined that it would be like this, but never have I ever been truly secretive about my ability or reason to be here. Some may consider it a lie, but given my rather unique situation, it is easier to believe, perhaps. Just, if there's anything you wish to know, do feel free to ask, though there are memories that I would rather not relive.
Anakin says, I will tell you all what I know on what happened to my home at some point, yes. Perhaps when Fancy is also here, because I do think that is something that she would like to hear, or should hear at least.
Mm-hmm. At that thought again, Gilgalad is gonna make some sort of a face, perhaps of a regret, or a sour expression almost, and say, it seems that I can never really get a hold of everyone at the same time. I meant to express this since we actually faced Granath, but then you, well, were naturally not in the best shape. And I'm afraid now Fancy. I will explain perhaps later again.
Anakin smiles, yes, the ritual took a lot out of me. But we succeeded. That's what is important. Honestly, he shrugs. Of all of us, I doubt that Fancy would have anything but love for you. Even after that, she seems to be that kind of person.
Again, he will smile, and knowing that Fancy is currently unavailable, perhaps confess somewhat to the rest of you. It's people like her that I really believe in my goal, in my duty. It's people who actually enjoy their life in the fullest, that the rest of us can sacrifice our lives to protect.
Anakin smiles. A noble sentiment.
Graham frowns a little and says, I hope to be more than a sacrifice.
Anakin nods. Yes. I don't plan to lay down and just give up. I live, sort of, I exist. And while I do that, I will certainly find a way to make whoever did this pay.
When that's done, what comes after, I don't know. It seems a bit far-fetched to plan for that.
Yes.
For now, we do what we can, as I've done. I explore and learn. I don't think I'm here without a purpose, and I don't think whoever brought me here would have denied me that purpose if it was implacable that I knew it. I will find my purpose soon enough when I am ready. Well, that is what I believe.
Well, one thing seems to be clear to me after studying the teachings of gods for so long. There is a purpose for everyone, whether we know it or, turning at the mess, whether we forget about it.
Makes sense.
The gods work in their ways. There are so many. In this land, many new and foreign that I have not encountered before. In my times, things were simpler, in a way. Not as much diversity. Not so many cities and laws and governments. I'm not sure that this is a step forward. But that is not really my decision to make.
Looks over the shore. It seems to me we have pilgrims to protect and a shore to clear. Perhaps more of these ruminations could be taken up later when we have a base camp. Is that okay?
Gilgalad is gonna nod and say, well, thank you for listening to me and thank you for your understanding. I will, of course, continue to provide my services as usual.
I can say that I will listen, but I can't promise I'll be able to understand. I will try. Perhaps more clarity will come in the future.
Alright. With that, let's get down to business. Let's clear ashore, build a thing.
Yeah, the shore, apart from some of the debris of the pier, is pretty much clear, at least as people are concerned, or even creatures of any kind. In fact, you can't really see anything moving at all at the entire shoreline. Some of the pilgrims, while you've been kind of talking, have already tried to make their way to the shore, eager perhaps to get off the boat that in their minds still seems to be slowly sinking.
Was there remnants of, like, a town here? Oh, excuse me.
A tower? No.
The town, because there was like a base
the
camp here,
town.
right? The pier, like, and the...
No, there was no base camp at the pier. There's no base camp at all, really.
Oh. So what was actually destroyed here?
The wooden structure, but that's the boat's dock, essentially.
Uh-huh.
Because there was no one to protect it, no one to even see who did it, and...
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a small community here, but I guess I sort of dreamed that up.
The only, well, not exactly structure that still seems to be standing is a relatively large wooden sign that has, well, text on it. It basically says, "Do not worry, travelers. This area is protected by." And then where there was a name probably at some point, it's completely scratched out, and a new word written below it, which is just this.
Bandits.
That's okay.
Well, at least they know how to write part of it.
They kinda know how to write.
And looking closer, perhaps even coming closer, there does seem to be movement atop the signpost. As there seems to be a sort of blizzard sitting on top of it, except it also has wings. Definitely too small to be a term of any kind. And looking closer, coming closer, it also seems to be made of metal and gears. As it seems to have spotted you, as it's unfolding its wings in a sort of waving motion, almost, towards you.
You know, it's loot, so I suppose it's just abandoned here.
So it seems mechanical.
It most definitely looks mechanical, although its movements are fairly smooth, really.
And seems to move with a purpose.
It seems to currently be wiggling its wings towards you.
Interesting.
Mechanical doesn't really make much sense to Graham, so it's just a thing that looks like this. It's very armored, seemingly.
It's also very tiny, basically fist-sized at best.
Well, Anakin will approach the fist-sized clockwork dragon.
The creature will stop its wiggling, jump up, fly a few circles, and then for a little while, for a few moments, fly towards the direction towards the mountains before abruptly returning and repeating the entire thing. Flying a circle, flying into that direction for a few moments, and returning.
Oh, you the guy that fancy provided. He looks at it.
The creature flies an extra circle and then again heads off towards the mountains for a moment, returns, flies around Enrican's head.
I think that means yes.
Perhaps we should follow it. Seems to want to lead us to the mountains.
Your passengers, meanwhile, have also slowly made their way ashore. Most of them having kind of sat up now, drying their wet clothing.
Gilgalad is actually gonna address the others and say, should we perhaps take a head start, or should we escort these people?
Perhaps Fancy can be their escort.
So we can scout ahead then.
Watch for trouble.
Okay. I guess we follow the mechanical drake.
The mechanical drake is more than happy enough to seemingly lead you at least towards the mountains. It certainly seems to want to guide you through ways, although its methods of communicating seem limited at best. It does seem to understand even more complicated things, complicated questions even, but it usually answers in flying maneuvers and wiggling, which of course is up to interpretation. From the pier, there does not appear to be a road leading up towards the mountain. In fact, at a quick glance, it doesn't appear that there's any sort of path leading up the mountain. But closer look at the general environment and the terrain does make it very obvious that there is a path. It's just probably intentionally blended into the surroundings as to not disturb them, perhaps. You very quickly come towards, for example, not exactly steep cliffs, but inclines that would be difficult to climb, except there happens to be a staircase. Smartly hidden, but the clockwork, the mechanical creature leads you right to it. The staircase sort of blended into the natural incline of the hill, but it makes the ascent far more easy. And those kind of hidden staircases and more or less subtle paths do continue. The way, however, is going to be a long one. The mountain is high, and unless there's an express elevator, which there probably isn't, the stairs are going to add up to a lot of stairs. Travel perhaps taking a week, maybe a bit more, depending on your speed.
Are there like any tracks around the shore, like anywhere around here that would indicate that like there has been any activity or movement here at all in the like past weeks or something?
Well, you could give me a looking for tracks skill check.
I would tell about the one I just rolled.
Anakin finds, well, certainly tracks his own and probably some animals. Probably deer, maybe.
I swear it's an elephant.
Flying elephants and dragons, loads of dragons.
Well, I don't really expect to find any, tracks around here. I mean, people don't really camp here, right? There's no trade or anything.
Yeah, it's more if the bandits patrol their area,
Mm-hmm. Perhaps. Suppose the bandits are probably located closer to the villages because that's probably their best bet, I guess.
Are there any villages down here? I thought they were much further up in the mountains.
Yeah, so they're probably a lot, higher. Then again, as we, scale this kind of place and this, I would assume rather dangerous paths, as there is probably a cliff at some point either behind us or at our side. Gilgalad is gonna keep an eye out and be wary mostly of ambuses.
Yeah, so I mean, I think there's not really much of a reason to look for bandits if we can get up there with the people without them. We can always come back down and beat them up.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
if we can get the people up there, then we can probably ask the villagers about, they may even know where the bandits are located.
Yeah. So I say we just sort of move up.
Okay, sure, that works for me.
The actual crest.
All right, you collect your flock and move.
Yes.
Herd.
I don't like these connotations. Bah!
Wake up, sheeple.
Yeah, the trip would be slow enough if it was just climbing up already by yourselves. But both fancy being somewhat out of it and the people just being people does make it even another step slower. Although the help of the mechanical creature is quite significant, actually. Most of these staircases and such probably would have either needed some searching or you would have just missed them and had to actually climb up cliffs and hills and whatnot. And And as you climb, why don't you roll me perception checks with the same background that you use on the boat?
Everyone is so perceptive. Good lord.
What's
Oh
on
wait,
the boat?
I was asleep. I'm dumb.
I feel
I was
so
thinking of the
inadequate.
sailing. I was for no reason. So ignore mine.
Well, it is Gilgalad who notices a change in the scenery, as it were. As there have been some bird calls and a like deer cry of alarm or whatever. Normal sounds for a forested area, for a forested hillside even. But those sounds disappeared some minutes ago. And now there's other sounds. Again, sounds of sort of hoofs and claws, which makes sense for this area. But also grunts, and also very distinctly the sound of a bowstring being pulled back.
Ooh. Well, Gilgalad is quickly gonna shout to everybody, "Take cover!" He's gonna throw his weapon.
Yes, we'll go to initiative. Yes, I'll move you guys over here.
Shout out, who dares? We needed Fancy here to be more heroic, you know? We are the... whatever our company name was, you know? And your
Bone
darkness...
breakers.
No. No, there's something much more happy. The ardent outcasts or something like that, I think was like the suggestion. And we will not allow your darkness to taint this place any longer.
The flaying flower petals.
Yes. The flaying flower petals. Since Jake is constantly on Reddit,
Nope,
just roll
no,
his
I was
initiative,
looking
I
for my
guess.
token. We were down in the bottom left. The map is big.
Yes. So
I see faces in these rocks. It's kind of freaking me out.
Me too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, kinda.
Oh yeah, like right here.
Yeah.
Right
And
there.
here,
Help me!
the ground is alive upon my visage.
I should not be. I was once a man.
So what's here?
Let me just handle this because yes. Well, what do you mean? What's here?
Who are we fighting?
Yeah,
What's
I'm getting to that.
initiativing?
The
Yes.
faces.
Tell us,
Give
Clockwork
me-
Drake. Tell us. Oh, I hope he has a laser. He opens his mouth and shoots lasers at people.
Laser
What?
breath.
Yes.
Drake seems to
No!
fuck off very quickly at this.
Oh,
As
it's open. It's a missile shoots out. You know. Smart bombs. Oh, now I see things. Hi.
Get them!
Yes.
I got them here.
as the creatures that you're facing seem to be, well, almost humanoid wolf dogs in a sense, although armed and armored. These two over here have a bow. This one has a bow, while these ones in the back seem to have spears, and this one a heavy flail. As this guy will not do anything.
You take the flail one, Hendricken.
Which one was the flay guy?
Also, we
This
can't see
guy.
them in initiative if we're supposed to.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Are they?
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Oh my god, look at that.
This one will shoot at Enrican with a longbow. 16.
Yes, that would be a hit because the blessing.
That is. Blessing is gone. That is also an even, meaning he's going to draw a second arrow and shoot at Gilgalad. Number
Okay.
8.
That's yeah. That's obviously a hit. And the blessing is indeed gone.
Dimas.
So on this grid, it's like each.
Big square care
Same
about.
as the-
Don't care about
okay.
this.
Yes, it's the big squares.
Guess I will just like flying blade the ranger there. Question mark?
Probably a
Sorry,
hit.
I was muted. You hit
Oh. Okay.
and interrupt his throaty cackling as he was about to lose an arrow, but he's probably going to do it anyways, but more angry this time.
That means he will miss. You know?
As this guy will charge forward at the mess
Uh-oh.
and swing at him with his flail and misses. That is, however, an even, meaning that you are marked for death.
Oh no.
No.
All
That's a death match.
of the enemies who attack you here will get the escalation die against you. There's no
That's not
save.
good.
The real bad thing is one below that.
This ranger will shoot at Enrican,
Would you stop that?
hitting for 8. And the second attack is against the Adeling. 21.
What? Why would he hasn't done anything.
He seemed to consider whether trying to decide between shooting the civilians behind you or the skeletal monstrosity that you have with you.
I'll go get him. He's
Okay, and
maybe.
this ranger over here will move forward a bit and also shoot at Enrican.